February 22nd, 2009 was the day that changed my life completely. Most who didn't know me before that day would never really suspect that I broke my neck, injured my spinal cord, and I'm still recovering from severe brain injury. Gratitude doesn't even begin to express the way I feel about the miraculous outcome of this horrible car accident. As more time goes by, the more I educate myself about the medical conditions I now have, my understanding of life and how I want to live that life has completely transformed me. After this accident, I was in ICU for 16 days and in the hospital for a little over 6 weeks. That first night, I was taken into emergency surgery to have a surgeon stabilize my neck. After surgery, I had a tracheotomy, was on a ventilator, and had a tube in my nose for feeding. That first week, I was in a coma, and my chances of waking were very slim. Doctors told my family that I sustained a diffuse axonal brain injury, and that 90% of patients with this type of brain injury remain unconscious for the rest of their lives. The 10% who regain consciousness are usually severely impaired. The ones who regain consciousness have to relearn most of the everyday fundamental things in life, and many are not even able to do that. As most families in any situation like this, no one really knew what exactly to expect. My family was overwhelmed with the terrifying information in the midst of such a chaotic situation. My therapy continued for many months after I went home. My recovery, like most, was not a steady improvement, but more of a one step forward and 2 steps back dance. I first regained consciousness March 1st, but was confused and continued to fade in and out for many weeks to come. I developed infections, including pneumonia, and suffered excruciating pain at times. Sometimes I was rational and could answer the same 5 neurological questions every day, such as, who are you? Where are you? What building are you in? What year is it? Who is the president? But other times my answers were completely irrational and sometimes comical to my family. After many days of answering all the questions correctly, I was somehow convinced that I was in Bangkok when asked where I was. I knew who my mother was, but called her Amber for a long time. Her name was Karen. Every day was a new challenge. My mother and maternal grandmother, the 2 family members who know me best, have expressed that although the me before this accident and the me now are related, the 2 are not exactly identical. They would know better than anyone else, seeing as how they have both known me since the beginning of my life. Although I don't doubt for 1 minute that they are grateful I am still here today, I have seen them both grieve the Megan they used to know. This is a feeling that I don't think words are even capable of expressing. I was sad that my family was grieving the loss of who I was, and terrified of not knowing whom I was anymore myself. I am still learning what my limits are in all areas of my life. Unquestionably, I'm not the exact same person physically, mentally, or even emotionally. And although my recovery has been absolutely remarkable so far, carrying myself with confidence again has been a very daunting challenge. Accepting my physical limitations came first, but accepting my cognitive limitations has been much more difficult. I am still struggling with the fact that it now takes 3 or 4 times as long to learn and recall new information than it did before the accident. I can no longer completely procrastinate and turn in a good assignment, or cram for a test when working under pressure like I once was able to. I have learned that if I continuously second-guess myself, then I am probably overthinking whatever it is, and therefore setting myself up for failure. Without even realizing it, I apparently had some preconceived notion before my accident of what a quote-unquote brain-injured person was like. I let myself assume that everyone held the same stigma toward the brain-injured, which put me in this little box for everyone to judge. This assumption led me to believe that I already knew what others thought of me, psychologically causing me not to try my hardest. Although it was and still is the most traumatic event I have ever lived through, I do not for 1 minute doubt that it could have been much, much worse in every possible way. Also, it has been long enough for me to see some good things that have come out of this hardship. Experiencing pure joy for the simple things in life is one of those. Because of the brain injury that I acquired, I had to learn how to sit, walk, swallow, use my fine motor skills again, and even retrain my bladder how to work correctly again. These simple yet very significant things that are part of our everyday lives is something I will never take for granted again and have a deep appreciation for now. Another would be the ability to conduct myself with more confidence and forbearance today, so that I may successfully follow my dreams. Teaching has always been a big part of that dream for me. Knowing now that this is what I'm good at and gives me a fulfilling purpose, I finally made the commitment to follow this dream. Helen Keller summed this up quite nicely, I thought. Many persons have a wrong idea of what constitutes true happiness. It is not attained through self-gratification, but through fidelity to a worthy purpose.